What's up everyone, welcome back to my coverage of the wacky competitive Pokemon antics of the Malamar Games. If you're not sure what that means, the Malamar Games are a league of VGC content creators who face off in a best of 3 match every week using different restrictions on our team building. This week we're going over week 7 against someone named Marcus Dion, who you may also know as Striider. They're a very strong player who has made day 2 of multiple regionals this season, so I was definitely excited to try my hand against them. I will try to find whatever content they have and link in the description below, so please go check them out. As for the theme, this is probably the craziest one yet. Only weakness policies. That means every Pokemon has to be holding the item that doubles their offensive stats when hit by a super effective move. This encourages us not only to build in clever ways to activate our own weakness policies and to trick our opponents into activating ours, but also to play around our opponent's weakness policies. I'm pretty happy with the team I've built, so the next section is going to be going over that team, which you can see here. If you're only interested in the battles, there should be timestamps for you to skip ahead to. Now, for the team, first off, we're going with a classic Lycanroc T-Tar pair. This gives us the option to spam fast rock slides, but the twist here is that T-Tar is running Terra Rock for even more powerful rock slides that still allows it to be procced by Lycanroc's Bulldoze. So this is a spread move, does very little damage, but it's ground, lowers the speed of everybody, will activate T-Tar's weakness policy, so it would be doing +2 rock slides that are also like adaptability stab off of the terrestrialization. So absolutely massive damage. This also has the added benefit of slowing everything down for the stuff I have in the back. T-Tar is already very slow, so it doesn't really care about being slowed down, and then, maybe Gholdengo or Dondozo can outspeed something very quick when they come out. Now, so speaking of Gholdengo, it's running a very bulky spread that's just split evenly across both sides, but notably it gives us a very favorable role to live Terra Ground Earthquake from Garchomp, and also guarantees a survival from any Hydreigon Dark Pulse or Gholdengo Shadow Ball. We know they can't have boosting items unless they proc their weakness policy, so we can calc very safely for that. And all of those mons were very strong in Series 1. This battle, by the way, is forced to be Series 1, no Paradox or Ruin mons, so yeah, hoping that those come in handy, we can take the hit and then hit them back with a +2 Make It Rain for free. Very nice. So after that, we're at the part of the team that handles my opponent's weakness policies. Amoonguss is always a fantastic mon with its ability to stop or redirect big attackers with Sleep or Rage Powder. But I've forgone Protect here to give us Clear Smog. That's not a crazy move even in just regular VGC, but it's still just very nice because if our opponents are going to give themselves +2, or be trying to, then we can just get rid of those boosts right away as long as they're not steel types. So very bulky Mushroom should hopefully be able to tank a hit and then hit them back with Clear Smog and clear the way for our team to take them out. Pollen Puff is also very nice for self-healing. Generally, we're going to be taking a lot of damage if our opponents proc our policy, so then we can just heal right back up and keep going. And finally, on the note of countering opponents' boosts, we have Dondozo, who has Unaware. Unaware, for those of you who don't know, it's an ability that makes it so your mon ignores any boosts or drops on your opponent. So yeah, if they proc a weakness policy, I just send out Dondozo, we get our boosts up, and we don't care about theirs. So that's fantastic. And because we have the weakness policy plus the standard Commander Omni boost, you could be talking about +4 attacks from Dondozo, which would be absolutely crazy. I'm running enough speed to creep things that are above base, that are trying to beat base 100s in speed. Terra Steel, it deals with opposing Clear Smog users, like the Amoonguss that we ourselves are running, and then we have Substitute to handle Spore and Intimidate. Tatsu can't run its normal Sash or Scarf in this format, so we're hitting a low special attack breakpoint, and then everything dumped into bulk plus Terra Steel, hopefully allow it to take a hit in the end game and actually do something should Dondozo go down. Anyway, that's the team, so let's go ahead and dive into this match against Striider. Okay, we're in. As you can see, I'm going to give the Lycanroc T-Tar pair a go to start with, and then put Gholdengo and Amoonguss in the back. Striider is bringing a pretty scary team, honestly. If he goes Mouse Ape, I don't know that I have all that much recourse. Maybe like Bulldoze Protect and then another Bulldoze afterwards in order to outspeed the Ape, but I don't have any speed on T-Tar, so that could be rough. Yeah, it's ultimately going to come down to leads, but I do want to see if Lycanroc T-Tar can do something here. Just so you know, like all my Malamar Games coverage videos, this is after the fact. I wanted to focus on the set while I was playing it. So, but it is because I have taken a little break from posting videos. It's been almost 2 weeks since I played this, so yeah, this is effectively a surprise for me too. So we're gonna like kind of go over my thought process as I go through these, but I'm kind of watching it with you too. Okay, so he leads Goldengo Mousehold. So this is a very... And I went Goldengo Lycanroc, not T-Tar Lycanroc. Okay, so this is very interesting, right? Because I could CC the Mousehold. I could CC the Mousehold. I could Shadow Ball the Goldengo. The issue is that if they do like Terra Ghost follow me, then they can get a free Nasty Plot up. It's a very rough turn one. And if I recall, I was pretty stumped as to how to handle it. Plus, just putting a Shadow Ball into Goldengo is probably a poor decision because if he has any bulk at all, he's almost certainly not living it. So let's see what I go with it. But he almost certainly is living it, getting the boost, and then just murdering me with Naked Brains, right? So I need to take a look and see how exactly he's going about this. Okay, so what I do is I Terrastalize to not take a super effective Shadow Ball, and I go for a Nasty Plot. This is going to be good information even if it doesn't go my way, because assuming their Goldengo doesn't protect, I'm going to learn the speed tiers between ours, which is very important since we both threaten each other with super effective damage on Shadow Ball. And that was to cover for a Make It Rain. And it turns out it's Mousehold beat up, so this is really clever, right? Because the beat up can obviously give the Annihilate Rage Fist stacks, but it also procs a Goldengo weakness policy, so I was too scared of the follow me. Okay, we get the Nasty Plot off, so that's something. And most notably, it goes before theirs. So we're going to take this +2 Shadow Ball, but it's not super effective. So yeah, okay, that's interesting. We do know that we're faster, though. So what I'm doing here is, yeah, Shadow Ball into Goldengo and CC into the Mousehold. Hopefully the CC kills the Mousehold. I'm faster, so my +2 Shadow Ball will kill them, unless they Terrastalize too. And this is Adamant Lycanroc, because it's already going to be so fast with the Sandstream boost. So I wanted to get as much extra power out of it as I could. So hopefully an Adamant max attack close combat will kill the Mousehold, even though it isn't stab. CC is a base 120 move, or 120 BP. Base is usually for stats. So yeah, like, at least in my head at this point, I'm very much hoping it kills. It could be a very bulky Mousehold, and that is kind of standard these days, but they do tend to lead towards special defense. Okay, so they're Terrastalizing something. And it is the Goldengo, which makes sense, right? They don't want to take a effectively 4 times Shadow Ball. And CC... it just barely misses the KO on Mousehold, and this is doubly bad because Mousehold is also holding a weakness policy. So now that thing is going to have +2 attacks. Now, mind you, they probably are only running like Super Fang if it's a supportive Mousehold, so I don't really have to worry about +2 Pop Bomb, but still terrifying. And yeah, now they're going to do +2 beat up, which actually kind of hurts. I go for my Shadow Ball here, again, just confirming it was not a speed tie. I am actually faster than his Goldengo. But yeah, very bulky Goldengo, and now this +2 Make It Rain is going to just double KO here. I think this game is more or less over at this point, to be perfectly honest. Like, the crit on Lycanroc super doesn't matter. Yeah, so what we have in the back is T-Tar, who 100% dies to that Lycanroc, and I want to say Amoonguss. I forget who I had in the back now. Yeah, T-Tar Amoonguss. This game is 100% over, and I would assume I just forfeit right away. Amoonguss could probably live a +1 Make It Rain, so I didn't want to, I don't think I'd want to stall this out, but T-Tar 100% dies. In retrospect, I guess at +1 with the Sand, I could take it and then like have my weakness policy procced and keep fighting. There's something to be said for keeping on playing this in retrospect, but I did just lock in the forfeit there. Yeah, you could, I guess I could assume the Make It Rain is coming, click like either Rock Slide or Assurance, and try to Pollen Puff myself up. But the Amoonguss has no recovery at this point. It's not allowed to run a Citrus Berry, so this would be totally prolonging the inevitable, especially, like, he has 2 more completely healthy Mons in the back, right, who almost certainly outspeed T-Tar. So yeah, we're just going into game 2. Let's go ahead and skip to team preview here. Right, so this time I'm going with a Goldengo Amoonguss lead, and then I'm putting my Dondozo Tatsugiri pair in the back. I think this is a lot safer. Murkrow with Haze could be really scary, right? Which is why I kind of leaned away from Dondozo to begin with. But if he has it in the back and I can just pick up KOs with Dozo, that would be great. Like before the Haze goes off, that would be fantastic. And it doesn't look like he's leading with it either. Goldengo Amoonguss is also just really strong here because I can Rage Powder away any kinds of weakness policy procs that aren't spread. Nothing can have goggles because of the rule set, so you know I can kind of just Spore at will, and Goldengo is free to set up. And also, you know, if Goldengo takes a big special, super effective hit, we can Pollen Puff back up. So yeah, this is a pretty solid lead, even in the standard format. Goldengo Amoonguss is very strong, so with the additional restrictions in place, I think it's even stronger personally. And they go with Garchomp Murkrow. Okay. So it's definitely good we've got Dondozo in the back. Ideally, we want to get rid of this Murkrow. We do have to share our Terra types ahead of time of these matches. So my... I already know that Garchomp is Terra Ground, but I also know that I'm calced for Terra Ground. Assuming they're Jolly. If they're Adamant Terra Ground, I think I do die most of the time, if not all the time. So this is a bit of a gamble, but I'm expecting a Terra Ground EQ and a Taunt from Murkrow into Amoonguss. So I'm just planning to take the EQ, get my +2, hit them back with Terra Steel, Make It Rain, and then heal Goldengo back up. It is a bit of a gamble though, because so my Goldengo does have a little more speed than 0 speed Murkrow, but because Murkrow's not allowed to run Eviolite, that means it probably does have some speed, so it probably does outspeed me. So should it double Goldengo with EQ plus Foul Play, then I probably just do go down. But that would be a really ballsy play. If anything, I think it would attack the Amoonguss with a Brave Bird or something if it doesn't have Taunt. But this is moment of truth here because there's a very favorable roll. I'm not guaranteed to live this EQ, so very much crossing my fingers at the time. But yeah, we do take it on 2 HP too, so that roll luckily coming up in our favor. But it all comes down to now what is Murkrow doing? We get our weakness policy boost. That's huge. It's Foul Play, but it's into Amoonguss. Just very weird. That was never picking up the KO, like, almost regardless of Amoonguss's speed. So now we get that off. That's amazing. We get double KO, and now after they both go down, Amoonguss will be giving us a Pollen Puff, and we are going to be in a great position for game 2 here. Okay, and they've got their own Amoonguss in the back, so that's really good news. And Annihilate, yeah, that's really perfect. I can just Rage Powder away any attempts at Drain Punching my Goldengo and hit it with Make It Rain. Goldengo's ability makes us immune to sleep, so yeah, I mean, the best they can do really is try to Pollen Puff up their Annihilate. But again, don't forget that we have Dondozo in the back too, so it'll take any amount of hits from Annihilate and can just substitute up to not care about the Spore. So big +1, Terra Steel, Make It Rain. Almost takes out both of them. Fantastic. And Amoonguss goes for Sludge Bomb, which is really interesting. But yeah, now we have a free slot to bring in Dondozo. And from here, yeah, just swap in Tatsu and I assume click EQ. That's right, awesome, okay. So Dozo will always be faster than Ape here. We are calced it outspeed base 100s, which is higher than Annihilate does, so they can't be Scarf. We're always faster here. We hit them with the EQ and pick up the double KO and put us into game 3. God, I forgot how long the Omni Boost takes on Cart. On Showdown, it just happens instantly. But yep, there we go. So yeah, that first game went really poorly, so I'm very glad I was able to bring it back in game 2. Let's go ahead and skip the team preview of game 3. Okay, so this time I expect them to not give me the free weakness policy boost on Goldengo. I could definitely see, like, we barely lived that, and that was with a lot of bulk on Goldie, so it was totally reasonable for them to assume that I would just go down to the Terra Ground EQ, but given that it didn't happen, I think we do have to come up with a different game plan. So I do still lead with Goldengo because I think it is fairly strong into everything here, but the Amoonguss lead is kind of greedy, right? So instead I choose to kind of mix things up and put Dondozo in the lead. This gives me the option to swap in Tatsu and just go for big damage. It's an option, it's really just pressure also. I could just as easily swap the Dozo out to Amoonguss and attack our nasty plot with Goldengo. Yeah, it really depends on their lead and what I think they're going to do. Okay, so they go with Goldengo Garchomp, right? I don't think they're going to EQ on Garchomp. So what I'm ultimately predicting here is a Murkrow switch in. I know they've got Murkrow in the pack because they're going to be scared of Dondozo. So what I'm predicting is that they're going to swap it into the Goldengo slot, and I need to just quickly eliminate it with Wave Crash. This is very much a gamble, though. If they protect or they swap Murkrow into the other slot, then I'm in really deep trouble. So very much a hard read. So whether they're swapping or not, our Goldengo is faster, so it always swaps out first. That's important to note. Once again, we see this very long commander boost. I almost wish... Maybe I should start watching these on fast forward, honestly. I think I'm just losing my tolerance for how long animations take on the actual game. But yeah, no moment of truth. And they do swap out Goldengo. Okay, and I do remember this part. It is a deep Murkrow, so this is fantastic. It can't have Eviolite. It can't have Focus Sash. Garchomp protects, which is even better. And we got the big +2 Wave Crash into Murkrow. Take it out in one hit. They lost their haze. They can no longer handle Dondozo here. So now they bring out Goldie. I feel like an EQ is very obvious, so what instead I do here is I can just get an order up into Garchomp, go up to +3, +2 order up with this high of attack investment, almost always Oko's Garchomp. I think they'd have to be very invested, or like swap in Mousehold for Friend Card maybe. Because admittedly we are not Stab on this order up, we're not Terra Dragon, so that is something to keep in mind, but yeah, they go for the Dragon Claw. Oh, that crit actually really matters, because that would do nothing if our defensive boost was in play. But we do get the Oko and Garchomp. That's very nice. So now we're up 4-2. And then Goldie goes for Shadow Ball, and our special defense is not great, so this is still going to hurt. We just barely live it. And the special defense drop. It doesn't really matter, right? That was definitely a 2-hit KO, and we can't have lefties. So now this is the worst possible thing. I could just click EQ and effectively win here, but I quickly go just muscle memory, I think. I want to call it Protect on Goldengo. And so I go to click what I think is Protect, forgetting that I don't have Protect, I have Substitute. I just saw the gray icon with the circle on it, and oh god, it was so dumb. I could have just effectively won the game with like a Wave Crash into Annihilate or an EQ for Goldengo or anything really, and yeah, proceeded to completely like throw away this massive lead I have for myself here. You're gonna see in a second, I don't even have the HP to form a Substitute, so this is gonna go very poorly. Yeah. Oh god. And they have CC on the Annihilate. So admittedly, that mistake wouldn't have cost me my Dondozo had I not been crit by the Garchomp last turn, but that's just so bad, and Goldie goes for a nasty plot, so now I'm in serious trouble. My 4-2 lead is down to 3-2 now, and I don't really have a whole lot of pressure. The Annihilate, if I recall, is faster than Goldengo too. We saw that in the end of game 2, so very tough call here to make, and I don't even remember how I played it out, to be honest with you. We're gonna be seeing it. Because I have Amoonguss in the back, right? So an Amoonguss is really only useful into the Annihilate. It does nothing for me into Goldengo. It just dies to the powerful Make It Rains. But I do know that I'm faster than their Goldie. So what I can, in theory, do, if Goldengo should live an unboosted Rage Fist, and we haven't hit the Annihilate at all, so that Rage Fist is still sitting at base 50. So we can go for a Shadow Ball plus a Muddy Water, and if Tatsu lives to get the Muddy Water off, then we're in a great position. But they're going for the Terra here. On presumably Goldengo? Yeah, that's right. So they're not going to be taking super effective Shadow Ball. They don't care about the proccing their weakness policy anymore because they already have the nasty plot boost. That's more than enough to finish me off here. So totally makes sense. But they protect Annihilate. That's absolutely massive. Calling that right. It makes some amount of sense, right? Because Shadow Ball, that would do quite a bit. And they don't really know how fast my Goldie. No, they do know that they're 8-belt speeds, actually, which is interesting. They go for the Shadow Ball and a Tatsu. But we have a ton of bulk in that, remember. 252 HP and some into the defenses as well. So we take the +2 Shadow Ball, which is great. And we get the Muddy Water off. So now that Goldengo is in range of our Shadow Ball, right? So doubling the Annihilate, I guess it makes some amount of sense because they just protected. And there's also the question of this Amoonguss in the back, right? Because it really does nothing for me. It's kind of a wasted slot. Protecting Goldengo does make some amount of sense, though, right? Because it means that we can keep it alive for Amoonguss to come out and redirect Rage Fists from the Annihilate. Oh, just Drain Punch. Okay. Yeah. Problematic for sure. So a +2 Shadow Ball into a super effective like hit on Goldengo will definitely kill us. The alternative here, Amoonguss is Terra Water, so Terra Water Rage Powder is also interesting. Gonna have to see here. Oh, God, just really wishing I'd played the Dondozo properly. So what we're doing here is going Terra Steel, Shadow Balling the Goldengo, and I didn't see what Amoonguss locked in. I think Rage Powder. The Amoonguss actually is something of a threat, right? Because our Goldengo outspeeds theirs, and we should take any hit from their Annihilate. So if we just kill their Goldengo and score their Annihilate, that's also an out here. Assuming they're not Vital Spirit, which is also very possible. but they protect Annihilate. That's absolutely huge. Yeah, our Shadow Ball is faster. We just go into their Goldie. And then it looks like I did click score over there. So yeah, the game should be about over at this point now, right? We can just Rage Powder Shadow Ball until the cows come home. Annihilate doesn't have any sacks on it. It protected through the Muddy Water from Tatsu. So yeah, it's not doing anything. We don't want it to Drain Punch us though, so we just Rage Powder Shadow Ball. And we don't have any boosts, like we didn't get to Nasty Plot, but this is still super effective Shadow Ball. And he's taken 2 CC drops at that, so this is effectively super effective. if that makes any sense. But yeah, despite the almost throw, Calling Protects on Annihilate really pulled us back into this game and actually managed to take the set. So that puts me at a, I believe, 6-1 record. Since this was week 7, there's one more match against Rich, a fellow Georgia VGC player who made top 8 at the Charlotte Regionals, so very impressive. Super looking forward to that. And yeah, so take a look at my channel in the next week or so. And I also have a show match against Pengy, a regional champion from last year, using the same team that I will do a video on within the next week as well. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel. Until next time.